to our next lecturers. When Kalina became the world's first blind caver, she proved that limitations are just invitation for innovation. With a passion for climbing and caving that pushes creative thinking to its limits, she's now working with her second guide dog, Whity, together with Angel, who breathes life into puzzles, invents word games, and finds inspiration in everything from Studio Ghibli films to Terry Pratchett's works. They form a dynamic duo that challenges conventional thinking about accessibility. Their presentation, A Day in the Life of a Blind Astronaut, brings together Kalina's adventurous spirit from caves to cliffs to near off-grid living and Angel's artistic approach to problem solving. While Kalina embraces the mantra of keeping it simple and asking plenty of questions while having fun, Angel advises us to be open like a fresh journal, be curious like a small child, calm down and listen to people, or in other words, forget pride and prejudice. When they are not breaking barriers in accessibility, you might find Angel admiring cats and squirrels, while Kalina is likely planning her next cave exploration or working with Whity together. They're not just redefining what's possible in accessibility, they're showing us that the only real limitation are the ones we place in our own hands. So, Kalina and Angel, please join us on stage. Thank you.
As you can all see, I'm not Kalina, I'm Angel. Well, unfortunately, Kalina and Whity had urgent mission to repair something in space, and we will join a little bit later. So please excuse them for the moment, and I'll try my best to explain you some challenges in the outer space. But later you'll have the chance to talk to at least Kalina. If you know Doc, you can talk to Whity also. Any one of you been to space? No? Well, soon enough. The opportunity is around the corner. So, a lot of you maybe wondered, why there is a typo here? Yeah, there is deliberate typo. Well, maybe we'll see why there is a deliberate typo. So, I met my friend Kalina, and she told me that she recently became an astronaut. And I said, oh, you're kidding. No, I really did. But you cannot see. How is this possible? Well, it is possible. There's a new program for inclusivity. Perfect. Share more. How it is going? Okay, well, it's not going that well. Why? Because I had a lot of challenges. Nothing is accessible there. What was your first challenge? But it's way too fast, I'm sorry. Maybe I pressed it too many times. So she said, the first challenge was I mixed up my boots. How is that even possible? You can distinguish left from right. Well, it is possible. Well, why this presentation is? Sorry. Yeah. As you can see, they are really mixed up. So maybe I'm pressing the wrong button. Yeah, okay. So, and I said, okay, I believe you. Do you remember this one? It resembles a little bit of a space boot. It has the symbol for iron. You can see the laundry sheets for telling you, ironing allowed, ironing not allowed. What's this? Don't use the iron when it's going to explode. Steam. Yeah, maybe you can find out that no steam allowed. But why not use the same cross lines? Well, then maybe this is don't use your iron when it's leaking. Or maybe this is leaking. Ah, okay. Now I can distinguish what this sign is telling me about. No steam allowed. So how we can relate this to the UI elements? You know that you're doing a lot of UI elements. When they are similar, for some people, it's hard to distinguish them. And you know, shapes, when we have just spot the pixel difference, when we have similar colors that are hard to be distinguished by people that have some problems with color sighting. Labels. Why this might be a problem? For people using screen readers, usually they speed up the screen readers 4 or 5 times. And sometimes this BCC might be just scared like BCC. And you might not hear the B. And you might think, okay, it's CC. And you share something with somebody that you don't want to share. Icons. Believe me, according to Google, these are 2 different icons. The first one is outbox. The second one is forward to inbox, whatever this means. Function, reply, forward. What's the difference if I'm not that familiar with tech, or reply to all? Size, distance, etc., etc. You know that. You design these elements. But what might be the solution? Anyone? Okay. The solution is an ambiguity. The opposite of this word, right? It's quite hard to tell. For my friend, it was just tactile stickers. So simple things that she can put on her boots, and boom, now she can distinguish left and right. Also other stuff that is similar only by touching. And for UI, of course, you know that. Just use icons that are different. Put some elements that can be easily distinguishable. You know that, I know. But I'm just getting started. So, next challenge, access cards. Why this is a challenge? Well, it's NASA. They're ancient. They still use swipe cards. First, I have to locate the device. Then I have to locate the slot. Then orient the card in the right direction. Use right angle, right speed. It was nightmare. So, yeah, it was not a long time ago. And you can relate to it with, I'm again using the wrong buttons, sorry. Whoops. You can relate to it with this one. Remember those payment post terminals? There was a long time ago that the cards were not contactless. You have to swipe to pay the bill in the restaurant. What about your elements? Those tiny buttons or icons that you cannot know, or the hidden ones, like the context swipe on the mobile devices. You don't know that exists. What if you don't even can see these things? And oh man, now they have more options. If I have moving difficulties, or just it's hard for me, I even cannot press the right one. Oh crap, luckily, sometimes there is undo, so I can undo my action. But actually, what is the actual problem? The actual problem is these things, they are just not visible. We don't know that they exist. If we know that they exist, sometimes they are obscuring what we are doing. For example, YouTube, there was some time ago when you slide the YouTube song, the element got so obscured that you are just, okay, is it the right one? I'm not sure. So then, non-standard actions. What is non-standard action? For example, if you open a fancy application for a shop, and when you use the swipe function, there might be something like subscribe to our mail list. Okay, I don't expect this to be right here. Also, non-standard functions. First, inconsistency. Inconsistency, what this means? Well, if I'm using, for example, Spotify, swipe, add to list. Okay, I like this one also. Swipe, remove from list. Why is this different? Oh, maybe a long time ago I've added it already to the list. There are people with cognitive difficulties that will be really confused about these differences in behavior because they're used to follow the strict paths and they don't like these paths to change because they experience a lot of anxiety. And swipe ambiguity. Do you know what this means? We have context swipe, and we have also the general swipe of the mobile devices. Top screen, bottom screen, left, right, whatever, and sometimes these swipe functions overlap. And maybe you have experienced this. Funny things happen. Precision. All these functions need precision. You have to find them, you have to locate them, sometimes you have to hit the right pixel. And what might be the solution? You saw it because I again mixed the slides. Yeah, proximity. You know this, proximity sensors. My astronaut friend said, okay, they changed eventually the devices with newer ones, and I was just waving my card, and eventually it got accepted, and I'm in. What about UI? Well, I guess this is something new to you, because everybody tells you, be precise. Everything should be really as it should be. It has to be written well, structured well. But this is becoming a thing. There are a lot of people that just cannot do it. They need some close enough functions. And maybe here the AI will help a lot, because it will figure out what you're trying to do. Imagine the people working in factories with fat gloves, with small mobile device. That doesn't work. So, next barrier. Touch screens. Why? Do you know what is a touch screen to a blind person? It's a glass, nothing else. And my friend Ahstronaut said, okay, this is the new fancy NASA touchscreen operating software. This is used for navigation, for connecting devices. How am I supposed to find all these elements and do my job? Are you familiar with this one? Not that one, this one. Yeah, maybe not here in Bulgaria everywhere, but you know ATM devices. You know that there are machines for selling tickets, and they're all touch screens. So imagine doing like this. Oh crap, I just bought something that I don't want. So how we can relate this to the UI world? You know that standard form might be application, login, whatever. But the interesting thing here is the small, red, teeny tiny element called asterisk. Why is this important? When you're using screen reader software, the screen reader reads everything on the screen. This is special symbol. A lot of users just have their settings in a way that they don't want to hear such special symbols. They just want to know the text. And for them, this field is no way distinguishable that it is required. So actually, I'll give you a bad example. A little bit of a code, but it's easy. So we have the address field, the label. Then we have the type of the field. It's type text, so we're putting some text here. And we have the asterisk. And there is some fancy logic behind that, doing the validation. Okay, I don't know that. I don't know what to do. What is a better example? Any of you heard of area tags? Yeah, some. Well, area tags are specifically used for screen reader software, just to allow the people using this software to get better orientation, what is on the site, what are the elements, and what is expected by them. So here, how we can change that? We can include two simple area elements. We just tell to the screen reader, okay, this little thing is hidden true. I don't care about it. The person doesn't care about it. What is important here? Well, where is the input type text? I have a one tag area required true. This tells the screen reader this is required field. This doesn't mess up the validation logic. It's pure semantic. It just tells, okay, this field is required, and the person hears address text field required. That's all. And the person knows, okay, I know I have to enter something in this. So what might be the solution of such problem? For my friend, the astronaut, different possibilities to make their job. For example, specialized keyboard, joystick, or some voice-activated software that actually works. And for the UI world, well, just offer multiple ways to do tasks. If we go back to the required field, don't just use color. Maybe add an icon and text just to be more clear for different persons. And I said, well, this is quite interesting. Are there any other troubles that you have experienced so far? Yeah, when I got deeper in the job, I was granted access to more secure locations, so there was more fancy secure systems and face recognition. And I asked, well, what's the problem with your face? It's perfectly working. Yeah, but I don't know where to position them. Remember Stevie Wonder? Yeah, I had to do such fancy dances. Imagine my colleagues looking at this. So if the device is not the right one and not in the right direction, you just need to do some fancy work just to use it. And do you remember those? They still exist. They still exist. Well, these tiny sensors, biometric recognition, sometimes work, sometimes don't work. What about UI? Yeah, CAPTCHA, my old nemesis. This thing is nightmare for blind people. What we have here? Use the arrows to move the train to the coordinates indicated in the left image. 1 of 3. Oh God, I have to do this 3 times. What if I mess the third one? Start over? Yeah, they have audio. You can hear what is expected about you. But remember, if you don't see it, how you are going to navigate? You don't know what is this all about. So what we can do about it? Yeah, capture required security. For my friend, the astronaut, different biometric opportunities for identification. Okay, don't just use one. Just more. Just use more. Whatever works. It's still biometric. It's still only you. What about IT? Well, always consider different options. Give different options to people, whatever suits them. This is a newer version. I'm not a robot. A lot of things happen behind. We don't know about them. We don't care about them. So this is better accessible for people. And I said, okay, anything else? Yeah, labels. There are corridors, there are doors. These doors have labels. These labels are in plain text. I don't know about them. How I'm supposed to know which door I'm supposed to enter? So this is her laptop used in space. What's wrong about it? Yeah, it's malfunction. Maybe you start thinking about the typo in the title. Remember those? Maybe the older ones? Cancel? Yes, no, cancel. Is double canceling a confirmation? What about this one? Are you sure that you don't want to invert the unselected widgets? Cancel. Well, such ambiguous, such long, difficult languages, statements still exist. As the deputy mayor here pointed out, especially in the public sites. Yeah, they are everywhere. So poor labeling. Imagine, yeah, close account dialog. Yeah, they're quite different. What about remove versus delete? Does it remove it from the list or deletes it? I'm sorry about the people who don't speak Bulgarian. Do you know how the the voice-activated software reads this one? ADPEC. Do you know why? Joker, there is only one Cyrillic letter here. A, P, E, C are in Latin. So the screen reader doesn't know this. He just finds out letters and starts representing them. So this is A, D, PEC, whatever this means. And more funnier example. I'm sorry, again, it's in Bulgarian. So what's this? It's read 30T0. Read 30T0. I'm at a Star Wars movie? No, actually, it's risotto. They used letters. Numbers. Okay, doesn't work like that. The infamous Microsoft something went wrong? I already know that. What am I supposed to do? Well, so what might be a solution about that? Yeah, just point out what you really mean. If you are not astronaut and if you part here, you'll be mooned. Sorry. Clear language. Clear indicators. And please check your spelling. It's crucial for people using screen readers. And then there was something about navigation. I said, okay, you're in space, what navigation? Well, we've done some simulations. I was climbing a ladder with no gravity. And at a certain point, I just lost spatial senses. What's up, what's down, what's left, what's right. I didn't know where I am, where I'm supposed to go. So that was the time I just exclaimed, I need a guide dog. And my colleagues just started laughing. Okay, guide dog for spacewalks in outer space? Haha. Well, but imagine that you're just like this, trying to navigate a complex website. And you can imagine, yeah, this is AI generated. Look at the feet, they're the opposite direction. Yeah, sometimes the people feel just like this. And have you seen this? Jimmy used this in some of his presentations a long time ago. This is Microsoft Word 2003 with a lot of toolbars attached to it. And yeah, I see all the functions. I don't find them because they're too much. But what's this program all about? Writing, and I have only one line left. So I'm supposed to do my job. And yeah, I'm talking about complex navigation. Have any of you recently opened a bank site? Did you count how many menus are there on the home page? I bet you find at least three different menus. Now imagine if you're trying to understand where are you and where you're supposed to go. Then you have too many options in these menus. It takes time to understand where I'm going, what I'm supposed to do. Then lack of consistency. Well, this site is having this layout, this way of using it, the other one is different. It takes time just to learn all these changes. Especially people with cognitive problems, they're used to do and see the things in the same way. It's really crucial for them. Ineffective or no search. Okay, we're living in the modern world. Everybody uses search. If I open a site, I just start searching something. I don't expect to navigate and to go and read some things. I just maybe need something specific. And you might don't know that, but there are still sites with searches that do not quite well work. Luckily, the screen readers have integrated search opportunity, and it's easier for you just to search. Focus grabs. What this means? Well, pop-ups. You're just hearing something, and right in the middle, something happens, and you hear something else. You don't know what happened. You don't see it. Or lack of focus groups. Again, the bank sites. Your account session is going to expire in 2 minutes. If there is no focus group, just to know that if you're not active, you'll be locked out. You don't know that. And boom, you're out. Carousels. Come on, guys. You cannot read the first one and the second one is already there. Yeah, these are all also elements that obstruct navigation for, not only for people that have sight issues, also for people with autism, cognitive disorder. It's actually dangerous for their health. They might experience seizures if there are a lot of moving elements. So, fun fact, not so funny for them. What might be the solution? Yeah, get the guide dog. It will solve the problems. What about the software world? Yeah, the layout, you know, you're designers, you're UX researchers. But please, use correct headings. Don't use only heading 2, for example. Make some structure. Be sure that the keyboard navigation works. And if you incorporate some shortcuts, perfect. It helps a lot. People using screen readers use a lot of shortcuts. Developers use a lot of shortcuts. Maybe you also use a lot of shortcuts in your software. It helps a lot. And finally, outer space. Everything is out, the final frontier. What might go wrong there if you're already in outer space? Maybe you've passed all the tests, everything is fine. Yeah, well, first time she said she mixed up her helmet, turned it around, and when they laughed at her, well, I need air conditioning, that's all. But that's not the point here. All the information about your equipment is displayed in a screen inside your helmet. So she said, how am I supposed to know that? Yeah, I know my helmet is backwards, but anyways, I cannot see this information. How might I know if I have enough oxygen? Do you know this guy? Okay, his profession. No? A joker? This is the modern version of it. Yeah, this is teleprompter. This is just the prompter. Well, this guy and this software and what I'm using at the moment also are devices that help us with giving us some cues or some useful information just to allow us to do our job and to continue to perform our tasks. So, in AI, well, actually this is regarding the technology integration. Maybe you don't know how many different and interesting supportive technologies there are. Well, I talked about screen readers. There are also magnifiers. You know magnifiers. But fun fact, if you start maximizing, the layout breaks. Some elements become invisible outside the screen. So the users don't have navigation back just to see these elements. Also, there are different readers, the so-called reading assistants. They're different from the screen readers. They're assisting people that learn better by hearing, or if you're on the go and you have an e-book, it helps you read out the book, and it reads only the text. And for some people, this is the better way to do things, to multitask. Speech input. There are people that are not mobile. I mean, they're immobile. And the only thing that can use is their voice. So they need possibility to use their voice to command the software to do something. Also closed captioning, the opposite, the people that cannot hear. If there is audio or video material, they need some text just to see what's going on. And of course, alternative input devices for really special cases. This is the eye tracking software, movement tracking, or there are something called single switch devices that you're using only a single switch to operate the whole system. Yeah, it's really interesting. So, what about the solution here? Yeah, I'm not talking about becoming an Android. That is just a small device helping the person just to do some things that maybe they cannot see. What about you? Yeah, just think about multimodal feedback. Include more senses. Give the people possibilities to use more of their senses. Text, sound, even some touch. This helps them regardless what is their primary sense. Of course, sometimes even we that use a lot of our senses are not able to use one. For example, if I'm sleepy, maybe my span attention is not that high. Maybe if I have touch, yeah, it works for me. So, a lot of things I said. I'm sorry, out of time. Just a short recap. An ambiguity, use different UI elements. Proximity, allow close enough interactions. Alternatives, give multiple ways to perform tasks. Variety, offer different options. Clarity, apply precise language. Simplicity, utilize navigations and user paths. And multimodality, of course, put integration possibility for any kind of people. And if there is one thing to remember, you can see these barriers overlap. The examples are overlapping. Yeah, it's hard because sometimes the same solutions work for different situations. But remember that accessibility is not just having something to be accessible. The people need well thought out user interfaces that guide them in their work, in their world. And also accessibility is not only a checkbox on a sheet of paper. It has to be more than that. It has to be a journey together between the people developing products and other things and actually the users themselves. So, most of you are explorers. Go explore further. And remember, becoming an astronaut is just around the corner. Thank you.
Such an insightful presentation. I love taking perspectives that I'm not usually used to. So, taking a look at the world through the eyes of an astronaut or a blind astronaut is
imagine
amazing.
That.
Do you guys have any questions for Angel?
I might say I'll be there at that place around. With my colleagues will join later. So if you have any other questions, any further questions, just reach out to us, and we like to talk about more accessibility because maybe you don't know yet, but next year something's coming. Do you know what? Yeah, perfect. Some of you know. Yeah, it's about European Union. There is new Accessibility Act that will become a legislation. So you need to think about it legally.
That's great. Angel, thank you very much for being here with us.
Thank you.
Approach him later on.